Hello, folks. Happy holidays. To those of you who heeded to the clarion call of the Azimio party leader of not going to work today and just staying at home, or joining other Azimio supporters across the country or in various parts of the country in today's demonstration. To those of you who went to work, it's my hope that you also had a fantastic working day. Welcome to the Spot On. And of course, on this particular channel, we discuss matters politics. And we also give a candid analysis on these particular issues. So folks, today I want us to have a discussion around something very interesting. How Raila Amolo Odinga did outsmart William Samoei Ruto in today's demonstration in 4 different ways. That is according to today's happenings or today's event. And so, folks, this is what I want us to look into. So, folks, before we have that particular candid, analysis, if you are on this channel for the very first time and you've not subscribed to this channel, kindly can you just take 2 seconds of your time and subscribe to this particular channel. On your screen, you can see the subscription button. Kindly subscribe to the channel. And also remember, to like the videos, so at least it can reach out to as many people as possible. Now, to the 4 ways or 4 different methods that Raila used to outsmart Ruto. Number one, it's now emerging out that yesterday, Raila Amolo Odinga did not live at his current home. The information that I have is that he slept at a certain place in Mathare North. Yes, it's shocking. I know that maybe you are wondering why did he have to do that. Raila had to do that because I think that they had intelligence reports that they could be under house arrest, so that he could not get out to go and join his supporters in today's demonstration. That was one of the plans that the Kenya Kwanza administration were planning on how to deal with these Azimio leaders. But now, after realizing that Raila didn't spend the night at his place, they went ahead and actually disabled his mobile phones, so at least they could not communicate, so that at least he could not communicate with other Azimio leaders. And actually, the director of communication, just to confirm this, the director of communication in the ODM party, Philip Etale, made a statement, and he said that after the Communication Authority of Kenya, EA, CEO Ezra Chiloba disabled Raila's phone, actually there are some phones which were delivered to him. That is just to confirm to you that actually these particular people, they wanted to put this particular individual under house arrest. They have said the goal of doing that was to ensure that Raila doesn't get out of his home, but at least he can go and address his supporters. House arrest has been there before. They did it in past regimes. It's a situation whereby leaders, they are not allowed to get out of their houses, to ensure that at least these people could not even maybe have a communication with other leaders. They went ahead to infiltrate their mobile phones. His mobile phone was actually destroyed. His daughter, Winnie Odinga, actually made that particular confirmation, and she said the same thing, that their mobile phones were actually infiltrated, so that at least they could not have a communication with other Azimio leaders. You saw the same thing happening to Martha Wangari Karua, that is the deputy party leader of that Azimio coalition. So actually Raila managed to maneuver, and he went to spend his night out of Karen, and he went to, Mathare North. Now, the second way that Raila used to outsmart William Ruto. Yesterday, he made an announcement that his supporters were supposed to converge at KICC at around 6 a.m. Or 7 a.m. At least that could mark, the beginning point of their demonstration. And folks, you saw today when, he sent some Azimio legislatures, the likes of Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna, the likes of Babu Wino, the likes of Salasia. He sent them to go to that particular place, at least to test waters, to see what is likely going to happen. And because police officers or the Kenya Kwanza administration, they had that mentality that actually this particular person was supposed to, access CBD by all means and get to KICC. They actually, doubled, if not tripled, the number of police officers into CBD, so at least they could just block these people from accessing CBD. The reason of doing this, folks, that in any demonstration, because it had been perceived that today's demonstration was going to be chaotic, it was not going to be peaceful, and I think that's why the Kenya Kwanza administration had to ensure that these people, through thick and thin, they don't access CBD. Folks, those who access the CBD, you saw what happened. They had a running battle between them. There was a running battle between them and the police officers. Actually, police could throw tear gas at them. Some of them were arrested. So actually, to avoid such kind of a confrontation, and when you look at that number, it was very small. The people who are engaging the police officers before Raila showed up in the afternoon. So you could have just imagined how that particular how the situation could have been if Raila made it true to his threats of going the CBD. So instead of going to KICC, Raila in the afternoon, he snaked and he surfaced somewhere in his lands, and you saw how his supporters were actually charged. You saw how they were eager to listen to him. You saw how happy those particular individuals were. So these people, they didn't have a perception, or they didn't have that particular thought that Raila could maybe just test waters by saying that he will go to KICC, but then he had another plan, as we have seen today. These people, they manned KICC, hoping that Raila will be there. And then Raila changes tune, and you see him in Eastlands. When he made his moves to Madari constituency, he made his moves to TJ Kadion's constituency, that is Waraka, in those particular places, and he addressed a lot of people. So, folks, that's also another different way of how Raila actually managed to outwit Ruto. Folks, the main reason as to why Kenya Kwanza administration had instructed police officers not to allow Raila and his supporters to, get access to KICC, or CBD rather, is because there was that fear that maybe properties could be destroyed. But folks, that is far from the truth. The main reason as to why they didn't want Raila to get access to KICC the way he had promised his supporters, because remember, I have said that Raila had promised his supporters, or had urged his supporters to converge at KICC. And why was police officers, why is it that they didn't want these people to, to meet at KICC? It's not just about the destruction of properties, because these people had promised that this demonstration was going to be very peaceful. So the reason was they didn't want Raila to address his supporters, because the moment that could have happened, then maybe hell could have break loose. So Raila outwit them. Instead of going to KICC, they have said, he sneaked and found his way to Eastlands. And you saw him in at Easily, or in Easily, when he was addressing his supporters. The police officers, they came with those water cannons, and actually they were splashing that particular water on these particular people. And I remember clearly that at one point The supporters were even mad at these police officers because they were arguing out that, you know what, they were very peaceful and it's the police who was actually provoking them. So they had to defend themselves. They had to engage the police officers, and actually saw how most of them they ran away. So the main goal was not just to block him from accessing CBD. The aim was to ensure that he doesn't address his supporters, because remember that these supporters were charged, these supporters were expected, and the only way to ensure that that particular pressure goes down was to ensure that the Azimio leader or the opposition doesn't address their supporters, and that explains why they didn't get to CBD. The third way, they were upset. Majority, and if you had the Kenya Kwanza administration, most of them, they were saying that this particular demonstration was not going to be peaceful. Raila actually he did outwit them when he proved to them that he can conduct a peaceful demonstration unless they are provoked by police officers. Folks, those of you who watched, those of you who are in those particular areas of demonstration, that is Isili, Madare, Ruaraka, name them. Those of you who are there, all those of you who watched, you saw how those police officers, from time to time, they could just appear out of nowhere with those water cannons just to, attack the Azimio supporters. It did actually caught many people by surprise, because the majority have said there was a belief that this particular demonstration was not going to be peaceful. And they have said, I have come to realize something, that most of these demonstrations, maybe they are being, or the demonstrators are being provoked by police officers themselves. Because when you look at the rallies or the demonstrations which were held in Eastlands today, in most of this demonstration, there was no shop which was broken into. There was nobody who was killed. What we saw is that police came out of nowhere with water cannons to splash water on the Azimio supporters. And actually, out of that, they were actually angered. And that's why maybe some of them, they were actually hitting back. You saw police officers, having to take cover, having to run for their safety. So I believe that in the event that police officers are not provoking demonstrators, then there's nothing bad that is going to happen, or there's no violence which will be witnessed. And actually, most of people who are watching, they were arguing out that if this is the kind of demonstrations that was being talked about, then next week on Monday, they're also going to hit the street, because it was very, very peaceful. As opposed to what we saw in Kisumu County, folks. In Kisumu County, it was the reverse. Why? Because police officers, instead of providing that security, these people, they went ahead to provoke supporters. That's not supposed to be the case. For example, look at what has happened in South Africa. Look at how the EFF, how they have conducted, how they have done their demonstration. It was very peaceful. People were just walking. Police were there. They were providing that particular security. But in our case, or in our country, it's actually the opposite. Police officers are provoking demonstrators, then they go ahead to blame them for violence. Actually, what has happened in Kisumu, to be specific, could have not happened. They have said police, their work is to police. Their work is to ensure that they provide security and not to provoke supporters. They're not supposed to be, maybe used by maybe a different quarter. Because, for instance, what we have seen in Isili, for example, the opposition leader, maybe he was addressing his supporters. Then out of nowhere, you saw those people coming with water cannons. They didn't break into anybody's shop. And I think that's maybe something which we are not supposed to be having. If we have to have peaceful demonstration, then police, they need to do their work of policing and not, provoking supporters. Because even so today at KICC, when the Nairobi senator was confronting OCPD and asking him why was he tear gassing them, and this particular person could not even respond. His work was just to disappear, pretend that he's on phone and to avoid cameras. So in coming in the future, I think this is something that we need to look into as a country. Folks, I don't know what is your thought on this particular development, because remember that next week on Monday, the Azimio leader has actually called upon his supporters to show up in the, to turn out in large numbers on the street to protest against this particular government. What is your thought? Was the demonstration successful? Kindly let me know on in the comment section. Let's interact in the comment section. Then you can also let me know of what you think of this particular video. I want to know of your opinion. Kindly on the comment section, let's communicate there. And then lastly, if you have watched this video from the beginning up to this particular moment and you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly on your screen there's the subscription button. Kindly tap it and subscribe to this channel, so that at least the next time we produce a video like this, automatically YouTube is going to notify you. And also remember to give this video a thumbs up. Why? Because that particular thumbs up makes the video to reach out to as many people as possible. Otherwise, thank you so much guys for watching. I appreciate your time. Until next time, let's meet in the next video. Thank you.